I am multi-topic talk. Welcome to this new video about the Arrowverse. Now, I was about to start streaming some Metroid Prime, and then I remembered I just rewatched DC's Legends of Tomorrow third season. So here are my thoughts. This is the overview. We speak about bullet point, what's going on in the entire season, and then we go over to the comments of other people on Rotten Tomato. We will read audience only because we don't care about critics. So I hope guys will enjoy. Let's do this. I always remembered the third season of Legends of Tomorrow as being the last good season the show had. The last season they actually tried to tell a good story, and I also thought for a while this was my favorite season the show had. But on my rewatch, I realized I preferred much more season 2 over season 3. Season 2 was a masterpiece. It was almost perfect. It has Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow had flaws here and there, some weaker moments, but overall it was consistent. And between episodes, there was no peak, there was no drop. What I mean by there is all the episodes were amazing. There was no episode that was really bad. Now, there was only one much weaker episode than the rest, but this is pretty early in the season, and we forget about the episode as we go on because the rest of the season is rock solid. And even that weaker episode had still something in it, and it was still very good. So, now, with season 3, on my rewatch, I started seeing the cracks. What I mean by there is the flaws later season will have, season 4, 5, 6, and 7, they are deeply flawed in my own opinion. And season 3 tone was all over the place. What I mean by there is they were both goofy and dark. But here's the catch. Some episode went too far in the goofiness, the goofy stuff. Now, a lot of people, well, most Legends fan, enjoy the goofy, and that's right. But I think it's not perfect. And I watched Peacemaker, and I didn't care at all the goofiness. I found Peacemaker very goofy, but it was well done. Now, maybe it was not respecting the source of material of the comics, but as a show, I did not feel like Peacemaker was all over the place. And Legends of Tomorrow third season feel all over the place, especially the start of the season. A lot of episodes were weird. You had an amazing episode, and then you had that weird, goofy episode that just wanted to crack joke. And then you had another amazing episode, and then you had another of these goofy episodes. But then it's like a roller coaster. Anyway, it was up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, at least it was only early in the season and at the end of the season. So in the middle, I believe they found the perfect balance between goofy and dark, and this is why I will praise the season a lot. This is why I still liked my most recent watch. So, now let's go a bit deeper on what's going on. So, now that the legends destroyed time itself, they are anachronism. They are basically a bad placement of things through times. Usually, it's people like Caesar in the beach in 2017 or alien somewhere that had no alien at that point. It's like time anomaly, and this was interesting and at some extent. We also got Gorilla Grodd. I was not a fan of Gorilla Grodd. I know he was there on the Flash, but hmm, I preferred him much more in the Flash, and I can't really say why. I just felt like Grodd was probably overused, or it was more like a parody of what he used to be. And being a parody is what legends do. So maybe that's why I was like, Grodd? Really? But anyway, the entire season goal is to have totems. 6 totems. And they're like the pieces of the spear of destiny. And the idea may be interesting, but you don't get a clear picture of what's going on if all 6 totems are put together. They only tell you by the end of the season. So I have two theories on that. The first one, they didn't know what they wanted to do at the end, or two, they wanted to keep it as a mystery. But I think I'm leaning much more toward they didn't know what to do with it, and then at some point they were like, "Oh yeah, this will break free Mollusk. Oh no, never mind, this will kill Mollusk." Anyway, that season had a lot of good in it and a lot of bad in it as well. So on my comment on Rotten Tomato, I go deeper with that because it's more fresh in my memory when I write down the comment. Now it's been like a week and I am done watching the third season, so some few things are a blur. Now, Rip Hunter, amazing character as usual. He is at its best. He created the Time Bureau to replace the Time Master. And now the legends are like the team of outcasts because at that point in the series they are still outcasts. It's shocking, I know. Later on in the series there are no more outcasts, they are just clones of themselves. Anyway, at that point they are still outcasts, and they are like the chainsaw to operate time, like replace that. So yeah, they think outside the box, and this is amazing. We can say at some extent, they are chaotic good because they want some good, but they bring chaos into it. So this is what is charming at some extent to the series, and yes, it's also at some extent a parody of the superhero genre. Because usually superhero want to make things better for everyone, and sometimes they screw everything up for the best. So we had a lot of fun with season 3. Season 3 writing was good because they still cared at some extent to the overall story. Now, I don't feel like the third season is as well crafted as the second season, but they still give seeds to what come next. and they are well placed. Damien Dark and Nora Dark, father and daughter, are there because they are villain, and Damien Dark want to conquer the world with Molus. And this is very interesting. As a story, Damien Dark, as usual, he is amazing. He is in the right show, he is the right villain. And now, I will be honest here, I don't feel like he is as good as the second season. Because what made the second season this amazing is the Legion of Doom interaction, the trio, the team. They worked so well together and they were amazing. They had chemistry. They were dangerous. They felt dangerous. They were the perfect villain team up. Now in the third season, Damien and Nora don't feel that perfect. Yes, you can feel the bond between the both of them, but I don't know if it's the cliche of having a girl with daddy issue, but I feel like I've already seen many times that kind of story. And even the dad has some daddy issue at some extent, which is interesting. Wally West, he was amazing, even if most of the time he's knocked out or placed elsewhere. He felt like his own character. He was an outcast, and he added something to the story. It was amazing. I also found Stain and Jack's storyline very good, and it was very sad the sacrifice. And in some ways, they were overshadowing it, while telling us what would truly happen. They knew Stain actor wanted to leave the show, so they were giving Jack some kind of cure so Stain can leave the show. But then Stain died, and that was great. Now Citizen Cold, basically the good version of Captain Cold in some ways, was part of the Legends as well, and it was great. Even if he had a very small impact, he was amazing. He was well written, interesting, charming. Yeah, Mick again, very good character. Now, one of my other issue is Ray. We barely see him using his suit. He used it like twice this season, or maybe three times. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, please let him use his powers. He's the Atom, and yes, he was a scientist, and yes, he was used as a scientist, but only by the villain. On the good side, sometimes he was doing weird stuff. He came up with a technology that can shrink things, which is interesting, but this is also taking away part of him in some ways. Like, anybody can use one of his powers, and this is a bit sad in my own opinion. And what is even more sad is I don't remember that shrinking item being used in season 4. Maybe they did. I don't know. I barely remember season 4. Season 4 was really bad. I don't want to rewatch this shit. Anyway, season 3 had a lot of emotion in it, and I like it. This is what I tune in to see. Emotional moments. Sarah Lance as the character is great. Eva, yeah. Eva, the new love interest for Sarah, is good. She is in some ways her opposite, at some point in the series at least. Now, by season 7, I believe everyone is the same. They just wear different name and different clothes. But at that point in the series, Eva and Sarah are clearly contrasts. Eva is perfect, and she was made to be perfect, and that perfection in some ways was a flaw because that would mean she was maybe not a true person. On the other end, we got Sarah, the colorful one, and she is like chaotic good. Like she will kill people for the good people to win in some ways. So overall, this season, I think it should deserve like 8.8, 8.9 out of 10. Now, I rewatched The Flash first season as well recently, and I do believe um, Legends of Tomorrow third season was better than The Flash first season. Um, Now, I will speak about one last thing I didn't like. Molas was boring. It was bad. Don't know why they made him this way. He was just a demon. He was not unique. He was not interesting. He just wanted to be free of his prison, I guess. Now the other issue is Maya, granddaughter. Maya, granddaughter. I cannot stand that boring character. I don't know if it's the actress or the writing. For most of the season, she is boring. She's bad. She's not a good character. She's not interesting. By the end of the season, she got better for sure. She did some good things and she took good choices. So her later on version, if we can call it that way, was much better. And lastly, before we go over to other people comment, Zari, the new member of the team. She was amazing. She is one of the best character in the series. I guess they only had a 2 season character arc for her because then she get right off and another shitty Zari replace her. But anyway, Zari, good character. Anyway, let's go over the comments. So here we are, Legends of Tomorrow third season. So we will go over to my comment first. I always remember DC's Legends of Tomorrow third season as being the best the series came up with. My most recent watch showed me otherwise. Season 2 is the best. The negative. Too goofy in my own opinion. Some of the characters barely use their powers, aka Ray Palmer. Stain Jacks also both barely use their powers, which is very sad for me. Season 2 was very consistent on its quality. Each episode had harmony. Some episode clashes with each other in season 3. Molus as a villain is much weaker than the Legends of Doom. He is boring and he dragged down at the show by a lot. The Water Witch and granddaughter to Amaya is also another boring villain. Another quest of MacGuffin. Totem of Zambezi may be more interesting than the pieces of the Spear of Destiny, but their end goal objective is a bit boring. When a totem goes into Nora Damien ends, stakes never truly feel as high as when the Legends of Doom could get a piece of the Spear of Destiny, despite being stronger MacGuffins since they give power, because they all give different powers anyway. The positive, Damien Dart, Nora, these two make you forget about the other bad villains since they carry on their shoulders the role of interesting and appealing villain. The legends still know how to give you smile. A lot of scenes are funny. The superhero aspect of the show is still around. Most legends are still using their powers. The Time Bureau is a nice replacement for the Time Masters. Rip Hunter was a great as any other past season. Each character feels different. They are truly a team of outcasts. Have Eva and Zari are two amazing new characters that gave us great time. Gary wasn't the best character, but he didn't have such a huge role in the series, so the pill was more easy to swallow. John Constantine was amazing as usual. Some parts of the story were really dark and appealing. A lot of episodes were emotional. The story mattered, and outside of 3 or 4 episodes, most of the season wasn't filled of filler. The season was really entertaining. Some episodes were bad, but others were amazing despite being character driven. The show was well written and the story made sense. Choices character take make sense with the seeds given. Even if the negative take more space in this review, I still felt like the positive outweighed the bad. Can't wait to rewatch. I suggest to everyone to watch this amazing season. So yeah, let's go over to other people comment now. So now let's read some comments here. Season 3 straight up starts with the bang that the previous season left at, and is pretty much the guarantee that the show will never go back to those pathetic roots of season 1. The legends fight Julius Caesar here, fight the Vietnam War, and once again take on Damien Dart, who this time around is an actual threatening villain. New characters like Nora and Zari are introduced, who brings a lot to the table. I really liked that episode where Zari is stuck in a time loop and as 1 hour before the ship explodes. The ending of this season is the greatest in the entire show as we get to see the big baby in action Bebo. I really felt like kissing him on the cheeks because of how adorable he is. Finale in the end, Rip Hunter sacrificed himself in a sorrowful death and Constantine joins in. So here I got other takes on many things he said. Now, season 1 was not pathetic. It was mediocre at best, but I still find the first season much better than season 4, 5, 6, or 7. I think I will rewatch season 1 day or another because it adds something. It's not perfect, it's deeply flawed, but it was Legends of Tomorrow. They didn't know what to do. Now, um, you don't need superpower to be a threat. So when they say take on Damien Dark, who is this time around an actual threatening villain. Now, this is true, he is more dangerous in season 3, But in season 2, he was still a League of Assassin ninja, so he knew how to fight. And he was not like that OP character he is in season 3, mainly because they wanted the Legends of Doom to be like that team that like were together. And I think if they made Damien as powerful as what they did in season 3, what's the point of getting Malcolm involved in all of that? You only need Damien. So now, I do understand why they nerf Damien, but Damien was still a threat in season 2. He tortured people. He felt dangerous and threatening, despite having no powers. It's like saying, yo, Arrow, Green Arrow, Oliver Queen. He's not a threat, but he can break your bone like only with his fist and his karate like moves. Now, Nora was fine. She was not a masterpiece character. Zari, on the other end, is good. I agree with Zari. The time loop episode was fine. Bebo, it wasn't me more than anything else. So let's go over to the next one. This show doesn't take itself or the audience seriously at all, which could have been gone had they made it clear from the start, but giving us 2 seasons of dark backstories and potentially complex characters trying to find their way, and then swiftly rearranging everything into a childish parody show feels really disingenuous. Personally, I've pushed through to the very end just out of hope that it gets better, but it doesn't. Shame. So I know what that guy is coming from. I do like his take, despite if I don't really fully agree with his score. I do understand him, and I cannot go against that because yes, the show became a parody of what it used to be, but there's still a bit of darkness in that season. It's very sad that the only way Damien has to save Nora is to die himself. His sacrifice. He wanted to save his daughter. He wanted to help his daughter, and then at the end, he killed her. So this is very dramatic and sad. Now, everything around is dark. Ah, I should say. Everything around is goofy and funny, but the core of this season is dark and interesting, in my own opinion. But that's my take, and I cannot blame you if you find the show childish, because it becomes childish when we get a Bebo creature jumping a demon. But Constantine, great character. Constantine liking broken woman and Eva being some kind of parallel to that. That's good. I mean, that's good. And Sarah at that point still feel like Sarah. I say that because season 4 they changed her so much. Season 5 got worse, and then they kill her off in season 6, only to replace her. That's disgusting, in my own opinion. But hey, this is Legends. We give a F about the show. Even the writer don't care. Why should the audience care? This is the way I see it. Like, it's a bad show. It's no more what it used to be. Next comment. The third season of the series just repeats the formula of the third season so that the plot is as good as. I'm very impressed with this. One of the best seasons yet. It was enjoyable with the perfect amount of comedy, a bit meh at times, but all in all good beside the unsurvivable time burrow I think they should have burned long time ago. Now, I do like the time burrow. It's another parallel of the legends. I think the message overall, if you are too inside the box, you cannot succeed. If you think outside the box, you can succeed. And this is what they wanted to show us. Did the time burrow ended Mollis? No. Did Eva save the day? No. Did the rules save the day? No. The legends saved the day by not following the rules. And I cannot agree with that message at some extent. Rules are very important, but if you stay like on top of these rules and these rules cannot be broke, cannot break the rules, then you cannot win. And this is the truth in real life. If you don't, if you start a business and you cannot think outside the box, your business will die. So now let's keep going. Legends of Tomorrow Season 3 is by far one of the best Arrowverse season yet. I should say more like top 15. This season introduced us to some amazing characters, such as Eva Sharp, Zari, and Nora Dark. We also get introduced to some minor characters such as Gary and Constantine. You forgot about Constantine. He is amazing. Constantine rules. He is the best. This season is full of twists and turns and introduced magic to the audience, with Damien Dark being the main villain at this time around. We saw how he was resurrected, and as his magic abilities, well, they were a bit more filler episode than normal. The season housed Molus, a new villain who could take over bodies, which he did to Nora Dark near the end of the season. The show sadly lost member of the Legends, Martin Stain and Jefferson Jackson. While this happened, however, we gained three new legends. Zari, Wally West, and Amaya returned. We also saw the death of Rip Hunter as he sacrificed his life. The only problem I had are some of the episodes can be slow at times, but overall this is my favorite so far. I would highly recommend this season. I can see why you liked it. This was the best season right now on Super Top, with some great new character in a lighter tone, a Legends as its best season yet. No. Anyway, if you missed my overview of season 2, it's very easy to find. Just search Legends of Tomorrow season 2 overview. Like, it's not that hard, right? I will actually leave it in the description below. I think I will leave all my overview in the description below of each video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. What are your thoughts on the show? Like, comment, and subscribe. We will see each other in future video. Have a great day.